Well done guys for completing the challenge. Awesome stuff. Liam, you were great. Oscar, you were great. Matilda, you were great. Ella, Jojo, brilliant. And Dom, amazing. Well done Corbin as well. However, this week, the winner is Ruby. Excellent stuff. Here's your BBITC medal and your NBA t-shirt coming to you soon. Well done guys, keep it up. See you next week.
So, as Coach Dean said, a massive well done to everybody that participated in last week's session. It was really good to see so many of you submit your dribble ladder challenges. I really enjoyed going through them, so many of you did really well. But this week, I want to see even more. I want anybody who completes today's session to send in any videos, any pictures of them participating. So what we're going to need for today's session is a basketball, a tennis ball, a wall like I have behind me, and a set of markers. I'm going to use cones, but you could use t-shirts, plant pots, shoes, anything to set out some spaces. But before we get started, let's get on with our dribble warm-up. So first thing we're going to do today is our dribble warm-up. This is really important because it's going to engage our fingertips, it's going to engage our forearms, it's going to engage our upper arms, our shoulders, and get us really warm, really ready for these dribbling drills. So first thing we're going to do in our warm-up is we're going to go round the body. We're going to go for 4 sets of 10 repetitions, starting round the head, round the waist, round the knees, and then finally round the ankles. Let's go. So second part of our warm-up drill, we're starting with 10 right-handed dribbles. We're crossing over, 10 left-handed dribbles, 10 crossovers in front. We pick the ball up, 10 ball slaps, engaging our fingertips, engaging our hands. Not too hard, but just slapping that ball. We're going to go through that 3 times. So for our final warm-up drill, we're doing fingertip dribbles. So I'm getting down nice and low and I'm alternating really low, dribbling with my fingertips. We're going to go for 50 repetitions, alternating hands. So today we're going to add one final thing to our warm-up. It's going to be a wall tap. All I'm going to do is come up to a wall with the ball and bounce it off the wall, alternating hands. We're going to go for 30 seconds. So now we're all warmed up, let's get on with this crossover session. So the first skill we're looking at today is a mid crossover, or just a regular crossover. It's the one where I'm going and I'm switching that ball from one hand across into the other. Now I'm going to use that maybe if I'm dribbling up the court, I'm going in this direction and I want to change direction to go the other way. The other times I'm going to use it, maybe I've got a defender towards me and I decide, you know what, rather than attacking this side, I'm going to switch over and I'm going to attack from that side. So basically all I'm doing is moving that ball from one side of my body across to the other side to create a new attacking opportunity. So what's my technique going to be for this crossover? What I'm going to need to do, first point, is I need to be nice and low. I'm in that dribbling position where I've got my knees bent, I'm in that sitting position. This is going to allow that ball to stay nice and close to the ground. Second point, so now I'm down in that seated position, I want to pound that ball across. So I really want to zip that ball from one hand to the other. It needs to be really quick because that's going to give the defender less time to react. So I start in one hand, it needs to zip across to the other, zip across to the other, really, really fast, really, really quick. Third coaching point is I need to have my head up. Not only during the crossover, but even before it, because with my head up, so I'm in this position, I've got my head up, it allows me to decide when to change direction. So I'm not just blindly looking down and changing direction, I'm surveying what's going on, surveying the defense, and looking for the best opportunity to change direction. It might be that the defender's cutting off this side of the key, so I decide I'm going to quickly zip it across so I can attack in that direction in the other way. But if I don't have my head up, it's going to be hard to read that, so I need my head up to make a good decision. So our first mid-dribble drill is going to be a continuous drill. What we're going to do is we're going to work for 1 minute, and that 1 minute is going to be split into 4 15-second sections. So for the first 15 seconds, you're going to do 3 dribbles before the crossover. Keep doing that, 3 dribbles, crossover. Second 15 seconds, 2 dribbles, crossover. Third 15 seconds, 1 dribble, crossover. And the last 15 seconds is just going to be continuous crossovers in front. Let's go. So next drill, what we're going to need is a wall. All we're going to do is after every single crossover, you're going to reach out and you're going to tap the wall. So you're going to cross over and tap the wall every time. This is really, really going to work on our hand-eye coordination, and it's going to focus on trying to do that crossover without looking at the ball. We're going to work continuously for 1 minute. So next drill, you're going to need a tennis ball and either a wall or a partner. I'm going to do it with a partner, but you guys can use a wall if you need to. What we're going to do is you're going to throw the tennis ball with one hand, cross the basketball over, catch the tennis ball in the other hand. We're going to go continuously for 1 minute. Good job. That's our normal crossover done. Now we're moving on to a low, wide one. So our second crossover of the day, a wide crossover, is being used more to beat our man as opposed to change direction. We're still going to change direction, but it's going to be after a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a hesitation dribble before we bring it back across our body. So by doing this little hesitation step, and I push that ball wide, my defender starts to move in this direction. As I then pull that ball back across, he's gone in that direction, I can now accelerate away in that direction. I'm really using this move to draw my defender in before exploding away from him in the other direction. So our first coaching point here is that first dribble needs to be really wide. We need to go out as though we're going towards that way before we then pull that ball back across our body. By going out in this way, we're almost luring that defender to reach across here before we pull it back over here. Second coaching point, after we've done that hesitation dribble, that dribble across needs to be really fast. And by it being really fast back across, we can maximise the time that our defender is going in the wrong direction for by moving really, really quickly off in the opposite direction and losing our player. Third coaching point, as that crossover is really fast, it's going to be really low as well, and by keeping that cross really low in front, there's really little time for that defender to reach in and tip the ball away. So our first wide crossover drill is really going to focus on getting that technique. So after every crossover, I'm going to reach across and tap the floor by my opposite foot. So every time I cross, I'm reaching across, tapping the ground in front of the opposite foot. We're going to go for 50 repetitions. Let's go. So for this next drill, you're going to need to set out two of your markers like I have. I've got one of my cones down here, one of my cones down here. What we're going to do is we're going to dribble up to the cone and you're going to do a wide crossover. You're going to dribble back across to this cone and you're going to do another wide crossover. We're going to go for 1 minute. Let's go. So for this next drill, you're going to need to grab another basketball. So this is going to be another hand-eye coordination drill. What we're going to do, we're going to bounce both balls at the same time, take a couple of dribbles, and then cross both basketballs over at the same time. We're going to work for 1 minute. Let's go. Good job. Now on to our final set, behind the back crosses. So next crossover we're moving on to is a behind the back crossover. So for this one, nice and simple, I'm just bouncing that ball behind my legs. This is a really, really good move to use because if I'm playing against, say, a really good defender, by playing that ball behind my back, my whole body is stopping him from getting to that ball. It makes it really, really hard to steal. It means that by doing that to beat him, there's a really little chance that he's going to be able to take that ball off me. So our first coaching point for this dribble is I need to be low. By being low in this position, makes it really easy to pass that ball between my two hands. Second point is my feet need to be in front of me. So as I'm down here, my feet are slightly in front. So as I pass that ball behind, it's not going to hit my feet. Because if I'm too stood up, it's going to bounce off my heels and go off behind me. So our first behind the back dribble drill is going to be a wall sit. All I'm going to do, sit against the wall, bounce that ball under my legs. We're going for 1 minute straight. Let's go. So next drill is going to be a dribble progression like we did earlier in the session. We're going to start 3 dribbles behind the back, 3 dribbles behind the back, we're then down to 2 dribbles behind the back, then 1 dribble behind the back, then continuous behind the back dribbles. We're going 15 seconds of each for a total of 1 minute. Let's go. So we've now looked at a normal crossover, a wide crossover and a behind the back crossover. Let's now put them into a whole drill. So this drill is going to combine all of the things we've worked on today, all 3 types of crossover. What you'll need to do is set out your 5 markers in a line as I have done behind me. What we're going to do every time we come up to one, we're going to do a different type of crossover to beat it. We're going to do our set for 5 reps. This combination drill is going to set us up really, really well for what we're going on to do in our challenge of the day. So that's it from me today, guys. Really good job with the session. Make sure you share with anyone that you think would enjoy it, and over to Coach Paul for today's challenge.
So, welcome to Basketball in the Community Interactive Week 2. Huge congratulations to the coaches who have been putting in all the effort and the work into creating some awesome videos, some awesome content for you guys to be working on at home. Congratulations to you young players for working on your ball handling, working on your dribbling skills, so you can take that into training and games next season. So well done. Let me take the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Coach Paul and I will be leading the challenges this week. All of the challenges have a time limit of 30 seconds, and it's how many repetitions can you complete in 30 seconds. The drills have a couple of variations to them, so there's sort of a slightly easier version and a slightly more difficult version. Choose the ones that you like. Complete as many of the challenges as you can in this week. Send as many opportunities into your coaches so that they can judge how well you're doing. Drill number 1, slightly more difficult, in and out to crossover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you can in 30 seconds. And drill 2, pound through the legs, pound through the legs, pound through the legs, pound through the legs. For the slightly harder version, in and out through the legs, in and out through the legs, in and out through the legs, in and out through the legs. And drill number 3, pound behind back, 3, 4, 5. Okay, slightly more difficult version with the in and out dribble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So drill 4, we're going to add all of those elements together. We want to see how many of the full set you can complete in 30 seconds. 1.
So, final words, a massive well done for completing session 2. Make sure you take part in all of this week's challenges and submit all of your attempts to us. So all that's left to say is keep working hard at home, and we'll see you for next week's session 3.